Greetings and salutations. So, one of you lovely people gave me the idea for today's video to basically play a game where I put a bunch of names of fictional characters from various fandoms in a little mug, and I pull out 2 character names at random, and I have to decide whether they would be mortal enemies, soulmates, whether they're a good ship, bad ship, where they fall on the scale. And I thought that sounded like so much fun, so that's what we're doing today. I genuinely cannot remember the names I put in here. I wrote all these names out at 3 a.m. last night when I couldn't sleep, so who knows what characters came to mind. Frank from Heroes of Olympus and Will Solace. Okay, honestly, I could see it being a ship. I can see Frank and Will meeting at some like Camp Jupiter, Camp Half-Blood little mixer thing that like Jason or Percy or Nico has set up to bond the 2 camps, and they're both like little ray of sunshine human beings, and like maybe Frank has a paper cut that like hurts a little bit, but he's embarrassed about the fact that it hurts, but Will notices and he gives him a little band-aid and they start talking and they bond. This could be honestly like a god tier ship. In my head, I'm writing fan fiction currently and I like it, so hell yeah. Magnus Chase and Billy Loomis from Scream. For those of you who don't know, I love Scream. That's a character I apparently put in here at 3 a.m. Billy Loomis is Ghostface. He's the murderer. So I'm going to go out on a wild limb and say that they're not going to be soulmates, not necessarily going to be a ship, but I also don't think they'd be mortal enemies. They could potentially like bond over movies or something. You know, maybe Billy killed Magnus in this universe and that's why Magnus is in Valhalla and he's kind of thankful for it, maybe. Who knows? I'm gonna say that they would be acquaintances. They wouldn't quite be friends, but they wouldn't hate each other. They'd be like awkward acquaintances. Alex Fierro and Jason Dean from Heathers. I think Alex is smart enough that she wouldn't be into Jason Dean, but I also think JD would probably try it and then Alex would just be like, what the living fuck, you were the most toxic piece of shit I've ever seen, and probably like punch him in the face, as they should. Carter Kane and Luna Lovegood. Oh my god, I think soulmates. I think this is a great match. Homelander from The Boys, the homicidal maniac and psychopath and all the lovely things, and Leia Organa. Well, they would be mortal enemies. They would hate everything Homelander stands for. She would probably like him in theory, but then if they like met, Leia realized the corruption of the Seven and how awful Homelander is, she would shoot him with a blaster and it probably would end up in her being dead, but she would give it a try and I love that for her. Draco Malfoy and Steve Rogers. Look, considering that Draco was a Death Eater, which means he was essentially a Nazi, I'm gonna say that they would be mortal enemies probably. I know that Draco deserved a redemption arc and whatever the fuck, but just based on those principles, I really don't think these guys would get along. I think Steve would immediately hate him and probably wouldn't wait around to see if he got redeemed, because he would be like, you're part of Hydra, essentially. So Grover Underwood and Miles Morales. Oh my god, I don't think this is a ship, but I think they would be best friends. I think that they would eat a lot of food together and like probably talk about like, I don't know, comic books and video games and music they love, and would be literally like the best of friends. And I love this duo. Can someone make me fan art of this duo? Platonic soulmates, if you will. Finnick Odair and Luke Skywalker. I really think Finnick is too cool for Luke, but I think Luke would be annoyed at the fact that Finnick is a really fucking cool guy. They're not going to be like enemies, but they'd probably be a little petty with each other. They'd be like acquaintances who like secretly hate each other and just a little bit petty, a little bit standoffish, you know. Also, I did put my own name in here to ship myself with fictional characters. I do remember that. Han Solo and Leo Valdez. Oh my god, Leo would like idolize Han and Han would like be really annoyed but secretly love him, and it would be like a father-son duo that I would love to see. The Doctor and Gwen Stacy. The Doctor is in like Doctor Who, the Doctor. I haven't specified which Doctor, it's just the Doctor. I'm going to say it's David Tennant, he's my favorite. He would love her as a companion. I don't know that they would be in love, but I think Gwen is obviously brilliant and the Doctor would see her brilliance and want to travel with her and would have so much admiration for Gwen, and she would obviously help the Doctor out on his adventures and be very grateful that he has given her the opportunity to be brilliant and to travel the universe and all of time and space. And I don't necessarily think they'd fall in love, but because I think Gwen would probably still have ties to her family and her mortal. I'm talking Earth 616 Gwen, by the way. I should have specified. To have ties to like her actual life and like the world too much to fall in love with the Doctor, and I feel like she's probably a bit young for him because she died when she was quite young. But, Rose was 19, wasn't she? So in my head, wonderful companion Doctor duo, but not in love. Ashlee Tayla, that's my name, and Percy Jackson. I'm not kidding, this actually just happened. Oh, well, they're an OTP, aren't they? They're soulmates, aren't they? Yeah, they are, thank you. They're soulmates. Sadie Kane and Gwenpool from the Unbelievable Gwenpool comics. Oh my god, the most chaotic OTP ever. I want to see that duo, please. That's something I really want to see. They are both just chaotic, and I would love to see these two in a fight together, but also just like hanging out and being best buds or being in love. Maybe not in love because age differences. I would love to see it, yes. Jason Grace and Steve Harrington. Oh my god, my two favorite golden retriever boys. OTP for sure. These guys would be in love. These guys would for sure be in love. Fuck yeah. Eddie Kasprak from It and Ramona Flowers. No. Probably friends. They'd be friends, but there's nothing romantic happening there at all. But they'd be friends. They wouldn't be close, but they'd get along. Padme Amidala and Piper McLean. An OTP, just because I would like to see it, thank you. Luke Castellan and Bev Marsh. Ugh! They would hate each other. Bev would fucking kick him off a cliff as she should. She would not put up with a second of his shit, and I love her for that. Annabeth Chase and Amity Blight. Oh, they're too similar. I kin both of them, which means they're immediately too similar. They'd be friends, but they would be in competition because they both feel like that they need to academically be the best and stuff all the time. So they'd be in competition, but I think they would also really sympathize with each other and understand that a lot of their insecurities and motivations are shared, and would be able to really, really feel for each other and relate to each other in that sense. But they would also like be in competition constantly and probably a little bitter about the other. Ahsoka Tano and Tony Stark. I'm sorry, I think Ahsoka would hate Tony Stark a little bit. When you think of where Ahsoka's character starts out versus like how she gets developed, I just think she started off a lot more similar to Tony, and I think that even though Tony has also developed, he's still quite outwardly cocky and confident and arrogant, and that would really get on Ahsoka's nerves because she had to learn and grow from that. And while Tony did as well, he still has that exterior as like a, you know, self-defense mechanism thing. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I love Tony for it, but I think that would get on Ahsoka's nerves. And again, they would be fighting on the same team, so they wouldn't be mortal enemies, but they wouldn't get along. Mike Hanlon and Peter Parker, oh my god, I know OTP. Sweetest little creatures, the sweetest boys. Absolute OTP. Just think about like Mike Hanlon, he's from It 2017 if you don't know, but like or It by Stephen King, whatever variation you want to go for. But, like Mike Hanlon like having dinner with Peter and Aunt May, oh my god. Raina from Heroes of Olympus and Richie Tozier, oh, Raina would not like Richie. Raina would not put up with Richie shit. Hazel from Heroes of Olympus and Katniss Everdeen. Oh, these two would get along so well just because they would just be able to admire each other so much. I couldn't see these two like being in love or even necessarily being like super duper close, but I could see Katniss being quite protective over Hazel and Hazel wanting to learn a lot from Katniss too. So like a nice, again, mentor relationship there, but I couldn't see anything outside of that. Eugene Fitzherbert and Bellatrix Lestrange. They would be mortal enemies, but I kind of want to see them as a ship. Remus Lupin and Nancy Wheeler. Let's say we're talking like Remus when he was at Hogwarts. Honestly, could see it being a ship. Kylo Ren and Nico D'Angelo. Oh, Nico would hate Kylo, like, as he should, though, because Kylo Ren would be like, oh, I'm so angsty. My life is so hard. I killed my dad. And Nico would just be like, bro, be quiet. You have parents who love you. Check your privilege a little bit. I think Nico could probably successfully bring Kylo to the light side, but I think Nico would really get annoyed with Kylo all the fucking time, and I think that Kylo would get really annoyed with Nico constantly trying to act like his life is worse. It is. And trying to bring him to the light side. But, like, I don't even know where they fall on the scale, but yeah, that's my explanation. Cass from Tangled and Harry Potter. Friends, maybe. There wouldn't be anything more than friends. I'm trying to debate if I think they would be friends or if Cass would kind of treat him like she treats Eugene. Maybe a little bit of both, but maybe like out of affection, she actually does care about him. Simon Snow from Carry On and Rapunzel. Wait, is Simon canonically gay? It's been a hot minute since I read Carry On. Is he gay or is he bi? I was gonna say he's gay. If he's bi, I could even so, I don't know. I don't think these two would necessarily be in love, but I could see these two being the best fucking friends ever. Rapunzel would also be really close with Baz. Veronica Sawyer and Vision. I'm really not sure on this one. I think Veronica would probably try and kill Vision with JD, if we're being really honest here. Carol Danvers and Wanda Maximoff. I assume they get along. They're on the same team, they're teammates, they're co-workers. Kinda. I like to think they'd be friends just because I like to think all the women in the MCU would be friends, but I don't know if they would be. I think Carol would again. Can you tell like mentor relationships? I think Carol would take Wanda a little bit under her wing and be like, I know that you feel really lost and you feel like you've got no sense of self. Like, I've been there. Like, the Kree lied to me for so long and I was able to find myself through like friendship and family, and I want to be that for you. And look, the Avengers are your family. Like, come on, we can get you through this. It's okay. Darth Maul and Bucky Barnes probably would be able to understand each other's motivations, where they're coming from, probably would be able to relate on an emotional level, but they wouldn't exactly get along either. They would understand where each other are coming from. I do believe that, but I think they would still be on like opposing sides and they would get really annoyed with each other and like they wouldn't want to listen to each other, and they would probably hate that they had that understanding of each other. Amy Pond and Scott Pilgrim. Scott would probably have a crush on Amy and she would want nothing to do with him. Last two, who have we got? Anakin Skywalker and Billy Butcher. Oh, Billy Butcher is fucking killing this bitch. Anakin will be like, there were animals and I slaughtered them like animals. And Billy would be like, fucking alright, mate. You sound like a soup, and would slaughter him like an animal. And that's just the truth of the matter, isn't it? They're not getting along. Okay, this was actually really, really fun. Thank you so much to the person who suggested this, because I've been really struggling to come up with concepts for videos the past like week, if you can't tell. It was really great to just be able to play a fun little game. I genuinely had a good time. I hope that it was fun to watch. I love you very much. I'll see you very soon. Bye.